Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of the Record Drums Online podcast. So today I had the chance of interviewing a really good friend of mine. His name is Alessio Romano. Alessio is not only a great sound engineer, he's also a great drummer, and we studied together at Berkeley in I think 2006, 2007, and then he decided to switch to music production and learn how to record music and drums. So I'm going to ask him a lot about how to record drums. He's the owner and founder of Studio 42 in Brooklyn, New York, which is an amazing studio, which is also very particular because they don't not only record music, they also video your performance. So if if you're in need of having a really good quality audio but also video, I'll definitely recommend check it out, Studio 42. So yeah, in this episode we talk about how to record drums, of course, acoustics, and also how to record jazz drums, which is something I haven't explored so far in this podcast. So I'm gonna ask him how he approaches, what mic techniques he normally uses to record drums in a jazz situation. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and as always, please subscribe, like, tell your friends, and so without further ado, please welcome Alessio Romano. Yeah, we live. Yeah, rock and roll. Nice one. So,
what's up, guys?
the best intro, the best.
We need some
Here we go. We got
cinematics.
Alessio Romano in the house. Yeah. Right. So we have here Alessio Romano. So for people that don't know, Alessio is the founder, owner of Studio 42 in Brooklyn, New York, and is an amazing sound engineer. I had the pleasure of studying with him at Berkeley. This was a very long time ago, but we're not going to say how long ago it was. It's been a while. We're still young, yeah, and and so Alessio, could you give us, let's say, a start to your journey actually in music? How did you start? How did you get involved into music? When was your first? What was your first instrument you started playing, and how did you get into sound engineering?
Okay. Wow, start of the journey. I think actually start of the journey maybe was piano and not drums. Eventually ended up playing drums, but it was piano. It was at the church of my town in Italy. And they had a drum set in a random room.
Mm-hmm.
And but there were no sticks. So I started playing with Sharpies, I think.
Right.
And then I was like, oh, this is cool, man. Then I discovered sticks after.
Sticks came later. First drums.
Sticks came later. Yeah, man, that was it. I mean, it wasn't that early, maybe 12 years old or so.
Okay.
And from there, it just kind of grew and grew until, I was basically just playing gigs in Italy.
Yeah. Was it any kind of music that you were drawn into, or was it like just whatever there was? Yeah.
Okay. No, wait. This is important. The very genesis beginning was the weirdest thing. It was like I had a Public Enemy CD.
Wow.
Yeah, with those CD players that would skip, so I couldn't keep it too close to the drum set.
Yeah.
And I started kind of like just learning on my own because hip hop had the clearest beats, right? Like kick and snare. You're like kick, snare, and hat are like super clear.
Yeah.
And so that's how like I was kind of like just going through those things. I think it was like Tupac, Public Enemy.
No way. Okay.
Yeah. And then eventually I started playing in different bands, and then I started playing with the kind of our own trio with three friends. So we would do a lot of like kind of a rock trio stuff. Nice. And we started playing all over kind of Italy. And but I was still trying to finish school, but I wasn't really making an effort to. Yeah, I think I was busier, just like, yeah. Then I started, studying music more formally
Yeah.
at the same time. And I've always had this weird thing where I've went to music school and photography school kind of almost always in parallel.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
As I was doing my, you know, in
Yeah.
Italy we have a middle school and then
Yeah. Yeah. High school.
high school.
Yeah.
But the high school wasn't giving me anything. I mean, it was the most boring experience ever. It's unfortunate because I don't know. I always hear other people that were so inspired in high school, and I was just like,
Not me. Thank
no,
you,
it's
but
just rough. I mean, it was great for friendships, but that was it.
yeah. Yeah.
And so, photography school, music school in Milan, and then weekends always out playing gigs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, that was the beginning, right? And then that became kind of, I mean, as an Italian, I'm still living
Yeah.
with my parents.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
of the band, they're all still living with their parents. We're like early 20s. It's pretty normal in Italy to
Yeah.
still be at your house with your parents.
Till 40. Yeah.
Yeah. So that allowed us to just do the gigs on the weekends, and do other things in the week. And so I would work as playing gigs and then as with photography, kind of both of those things. And then years later, already kind of late because I was 25, 26, 25 or something like that. I went for the 5-week program in Berkeley,
Hmm.
and then I got a scholarship, and then I went back the summer or the spring.
Yeah.
And that's like started like and that started like a 4 years, 2 degrees journey.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you did double major, right, at Berkeley. Yeah.
Yeah, I did, like MP&E, which is music production engineering, and then kind of a performance oriented
Performance.
drum stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember like when we started actually, because I started I think probably a term before you, like 1 semester before, and then you arrived, and I remember you were focused mainly on drums, right, at the time.
Yeah.
And
No,
then
I had zero. I did not really think about engineering or recording or
yeah. So when something, what was the spark that kind of started your journey? You were like, you know what, actually, sound engineering, that's where
uh,
that's where
I
it
think
is.
it maybe started. I don't know. It's like it started with the fact that I liked the studio, right? Like every time you
Mm,
go into a studio, it's kind of like there's a vibe. There's like
yeah.
as a player, right? It's like it's a special place, and then you start to get more curious. And it's kind of how it starts. Then you start asking the engineers, like, "Oh, how's this
Yeah.
and this and this? Oh, that's cool."
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But I didn't really. Again, this probably took maybe even a year at Berkeley before
Yeah.
I was kind of like, maybe it's a cool thing to do,
Explore.
to
Yeah.
explore. And I think who really maybe there's two people that made it more obvious for me, and one was Renato, that
Yeah. Yeah.
Renato Milone now, which is now a professor at Berkeley.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
man, he was recording every day, all the time, recording all kinds of shit in any kind of
Yeah.
room with any kind of mic, and everything sounded so good. So I think Renato really inspired me. Then I started playing with this, and then he would tell me, "Oh, I think you should.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think you should do. You should
You
try the
should get into
engineering
it.
thing."
Mm.
And I was like, I don't know, because there's an issue there. Because when you're a performer and someone tells you, "Oh, you should do engineering," especially like at that age where like it's a kind of like you're young, your ego is kind of like,
Mm,
you're
mm, mm.
feeling like, "Oh no, what do you mean engineering?"
Yeah.
I'm not good enough. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? That's how people take it. That's how at the time it kind of felt. And then my ex-girlfriend also did. Louisa
Louisa, yeah.
also at some point she was, because we were recording a lot of her things.
Mm.
And she would also tell me, I think you're really good at this. I think you should maybe take on the major. And then I did. And then and
You
so then,
switched.
which lengthened the amount of time I stayed in Boston, because then it's
Yeah.
like maybe 1 year longer to do 2 majors.
Yeah. When you started, did you go straight like, I'm gonna switch my focus from drums to
No,
sound engineering, or it was like more like kind of a gradual thing that
it was it all went together a lot, because
Mm.
a lot of the projects I was doing for the production stuff, I was also playing on it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of like all still really together.
Yeah.
Almost for the whole time at Berkeley, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you finish Berkeley, you come out of there. What was the decision? How did you go? I know, because I always talk about this. Like there are, like, at least in the States, there are like the main three options are like New York, LA,
Right.
and Nashville, right?
Yeah. At the time, now there's
At
more.
the time, no. Now there is more for sure.
Yeah.
But at the time, I remember like it was either
Yeah.
one of those three. So, what kind of drawn
Yeah.
you, got you, let's say, more into the New York option compared to the other ones?
I mean, for me, it was the music. For me, it was the performing aspect, and also, at the time, playing a lot of jazz. It's like, where are you gonna go to? Why would I go to LA to listen to,
Pop. Yeah.
Right? Like, that wasn't really what I was doing.
Yeah.
And it's an easier move on the same coast. But I think the music scene was fitting way more what I was doing.
Yeah. You're more drawn to that.
Even with production or even with playing, it was just, that was just the place.
Yeah. Nice. And then, so you move to New York, you go there, and you have this crazy idea of just starting something completely. I mean, I don't think there is anyone who's doing that. I don't know if in the world, probably there is someone in the world doing it now, but
Yeah, for sure.
at the time, I remember when you told me about this idea, I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. Like, I don't know any other, there are not that many places that are doing this. So can you tell us a little bit, like, what do you do with Studio 42?
So, well, let's just say that did not happen when I moved here. Like, I moved here, I struggled like anyone else. I played all the possible gigs. So that took actually a few years. And I was kind of recording and doing stuff in my living room in the house. Have you been? I don't know if you've ever been to that house. The floor was like this.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it was insane.
Titanic.
We had a good living room. Me and Ayal, a bass player at Suberi from Israel. So we do sessions there, and I had everything set up. And it's true, I did have this idea kind of in my head. I did not have a plan to like, hey, let's make it happen now as soon as I move to New York. But it was there, it was floating there. And the way it started was I started doing I started going to live concerts of people I knew where I could remotely record the set and film it at the same time. Okay, let's actually explain what the idea was. So remember when I was telling you about Italy and doing kind of photography and music at the same time, all the time. Even at Berkeley, I took a lot of bands.
Yeah. I remember you were taking photos all the time, man. Like, I remember.
Yeah, like that side of things morphed into video sort of naturally. Coming from lighting for photography to video, it's pretty close. So it became this kind of like it morphed into the video aspect. And then the idea you were talking about was like, what I should do, I think, is bring these two things are wanting to come together.
Mm.
I should just let them come together, and maybe, yeah, do like some sort of a space where you can record and film uh, performances, which, yeah, at the time you didn't really, there wasn't really a place that was doing that. Um, and also, there's something to be said about being too early with an idea.
Yeah.
That can be an issue. I was maybe a little bit too early. Um, but yeah, the idea was like, hey, like, can we like deliver something that is not a boring looking security camera footage with some shitty sound,
Yeah.
make it
Yeah.
more cinematic without the TV budget, because that was the issue at the time. It's like, if you wanted something nice, it was like insanely expensive.
Yeah.
But digital cameras were out, video cameras started to be cheaper, digital video cameras, and that kind of opened up the whole thing. And so years later, slowly, this grew into, the living room, then sometimes going to different concerts, shooting in the living room, and then getting a space, started to do it in a dedicated space, and then building out the space again, and kind of refining the same process over and over again, with more lights, with like, and now we work at the studio, as well as like we do a lot of work outside, for like chamber music, classical
Yeah.
music, and like we travel to places to like
Yeah.
film and record. So yeah, I skipped a lot of stuff in between, but I think
No,
that's
no, I'm
the,
sure. Yeah. The main picture.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the main.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, for sure. Okay. And then you started Studio 42, which is a great space, right? That you have there in Brooklyn, where apparently, from what I've never been there. I love to come down actually and see, but apparently you kind of created this space that is kind of like a disappearing and appearing at the same. If it's like
Yeah,
moving walls in
yeah.
the.
Well,
Yeah.
because the idea was like, okay, if I have this concept, maybe, and I can build it. I was like, I don't want to build. New York was full of studios at the time. They all looked kind of the same, like shitty basements almost. They all looked like that because they didn't care about any visuals. They just care about sound. That's
Yeah.
fine. They need to sound great. They don't need to look great.
Mm.
And so I was thinking, but that's kind of what I can do different, especially if we're filming in it. Let's just like have a wall that is a different color, have this texture on this other wall, have these different angles we can film from. Let's be able to film from different angles so we can kind of change it up. So yeah, there's like booths where the whole wall kind of comes off and you can open the room completely. So there's all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That is sort of a little bit different from other studios. Now other studios are catching up now, like 10 years later, more or less,
Yeah.
and making spaces like a bit more video.
When you came out with that idea, though, was it like something that you were like, I do this for video purposes, or was something like acoustically this is gonna be different, or both? I guess I
think
don't know
it
if
was
there is.
both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Of course, it needed to sound good, but I just didn't want it to look like horrible.
Yeah. No, for sure.
But
Yeah.
But it's weird because there was no. This is the issue. There was no blueprint to do that. It wasn't something I could go look it up on Google. Oh, how did they make?
Yeah.
Yes, there's great studios everywhere. There's Blackbird. You can see the pictures, but they all look kind of. Some look better than others. The cool one had more wood in them, which is nice, but video-wise is actually not the best. The yellow pine wood everywhere, even though it kind of looks nice on video, imagine that surface. It's interesting because like sound and light work really, really similarly, except for like the low frequencies. But all that yellow reflections, video wise, so light wise, are a nightmare. People look like Bart Simpson, okay? Like they're all yellow. Everything is yellow, 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 yellow everywhere. So you cannot create color contrast unless you start to really play with color lights, which sometimes we do. Because a lot of times we also go to other studios where people want to film. And when we end up in those, we gotta like really put extra effort to create color contrast. And sound wise, they're fine, of course. But that was the issue. There wasn't a model that I could be like, oh,
there was no ChatGPT at the time that you could
no, it
ask.
was coming. I knew acoustics, so I could figure out. Okay, like this wall, I can afford to have it kind of almost like a bare wall that has a color, because on the other side there's something absorbing something. Yes, you kind of have to have a bit of knowledge to make those two things work. But it was, I think at the time, I mean, something kind of new. So
yeah.
Yeah.
So when it comes, for example, to I don't know, I'm just asking this. This is literally because I moved into my new studio like about two weeks ago, and
Cool.
I have no idea how to. I'm asking friends, I'm doing the usual thing. Like, hey man, do you think shall I get this panel or this panel?
Yeah.
And like if someone wants to start from scratch, he's got like a room, a space, especially because the listeners of this podcast, they probably 99% they're drummers, so they probably would like to know like what's like the first thing someone should do when he gets into a room. Like what are the acoustically acoustically related things like
I think especially really for anything, but especially for drums, there are two things that no matter what, unless you have a 300 square foot single room, okay, which is almost no one, you're gonna treat two things right away, like and the first one is your early reflections, meaning if you have a drum set sitting here and your walls are here, I'm looking at it from this perspective. So your drum set is here and the confines of your room are here. These walls, they send you back a shit ton of reflections from your hi-hat, your rides, everything, which then kind of comes back into the mics. And it's on all sides, right? Except the floor, because you're sitting on it. But actually, you should have a carpet. And then treat it just exactly the size of your drum set on your sidewalls. So if it's like this deep with your thumb and kick, you get a panel that is, I don't know, like 2 feet, 3 feet wide, and like maybe 6 feet tall. And have those clearing those early reflections. And those don't need to be thick panels, okay? Like for this stuff, you don't need to go and calculate the frequencies of what you need to take out at this point. This stuff you have to do anyways, get it out of the way quickly. Don't spend 2 months researching it. You just have to do it. Now, is it maybe panels that are like maybe this thick? They don't need to be bass traps, okay? Insulation foam, fine. If you don't even have that and you can just do like the bare bones gray thing and glue it to the wall, do that. But remember, you do it on the sides, you do it at the top. That will tighten up the sound, right? So that we don't get those super early reflections into the mics. It's already going to be huge. Maybe like it's maybe the biggest difference sometimes. So
and
you
then
do
after
that.
You
do that, and then what I was gonna say is like the two no-brainers are treat the early reflections, which are those closed walls close to you. Um, and then sort of treat the bass frequencies because any room will need some bass absorption.
Yeah.
So it is also kind of a no-brainer to get bass traps in your corners. And bass traps can be, you could start getting into some interesting stuff there if you want to. If you're a nerd, then you can think about measuring your room properly with an Omni mic and a software. The software will tell you, hey, you have a node, you have a peak at 60 hertz. That's really low. That's a tricky one to like get down. If you want to be surgical, okay, like you don't have to do this. But if you want, you can do this. Measure it, figure out 60 hertz, go online, bass traps, 60 hertz, DIY, you can build it.
Okay.
Using either mass-loaded vinyl plus insulation plus a wood panel. You build those traps that will retain or try to absorb the 60 hertz, put them in your corners. By corners, like I also mean you have a vertical corners of a room, but even the ceiling to wall are those are also corners.
Yeah.
So start with the easy ones, which is the vertical ones.
Yeah.
Bass trap them, and if maybe you'll be fine. You don't need to do anything.
Yeah. Okay.
And then if you need more, you go to other corners.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. That's
I think, yeah, like bass trapping. So early reflections, bass trap, and then I think also super important is maybe secondary reflections, which is just a general rule of thumb of if I have two parallel walls that are bare, you got to change that.
Okay. Just make it
you don't
break
have
the walls.
But you don't have to change it drastically. Again, you don't need insanely tuned panels. You just have to make sure you don't have bare wall surface to bare wall surface and they can see each other. Which means what? You could do like a chess pattern on a wall and invert the pattern on the other wall.
Okay.
Simple. Or you could have vertical traps like 3 foot by 6. Just stagger them so they're like on this wall and on this other wall. They're all like this. So you don't kill the room too much. You keep some kind of live sound. Because if you go extreme and you start to just like, okay, let me kill any resonance in this room, dude, it's gonna sound like, I mean, it can be a cool sound if you need it, like a dry 70s sound. But I mean, it's gonna sound like the drums are in your brain all the time. You know, without the room, it's gonna sound weird.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. That's cool. No, nice. And then a Studio 42. I've seen some of the videos that you have on the website, and it's a lot of jazz. You got some amazing players, man, playing there. So Antonio Sanchez, Early Carland. It's incredible the amount of New York session players that you managed to have there.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like you get used to the New York
level
of people. Yeah, it's pretty strange. But you know, I mean, just yesterday we had a session. I sent you a clip.
Yeah. It was insane.
She was killing. Like, you know, everybody was killing. Like,
yeah. The level is so high there.
Yeah, the level is high, which makes us also kind of spoiled in that way. Like, that really.
Yeah.
I
Must be
mean,
weird. Everywhere else you go, you must feel like, oh my god, this is
yeah,
this
I
is
don't know. I don't know if
yeah.
I'd be okay working outside of here, you know. I would
Mm,
feel like things are wrong or something's wrong.
yeah.
But this goes back to, again, if we talk about engineering, sometimes we forget that 90% of the engineering is almost out of our hands.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, it's the player, it is partly is the instrument, you know. I'd say
Sure.
player,
Yeah. First.
then you have instrument, then you have interaction of player with instrument. Okay. Then you have microphone placement, maybe at that point. Then you have preamps, really, but really nowadays, really,
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
you can get any sound that you can imagine with some creativity,
Yeah.
and only using SM57s and stock preamps from an interface. Okay, like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, with
Yeah.
the Neves. It's cool to have them, but do you also have $6,000?
Yeah.
You know,
Sure.
like,
Sure.
I feel like we also, of course, then you get into engineering. You want to be a nerd. You want to know about stuff, and I think that's great because you can solve problems with that, or you can fine tune small details. When a performance is so good and people are so playing so well, maybe yes, at that point, that 1%, it could actually matter if you know
Mm,
what you're doing. Hey, switch these mics out. The cymbals are too bright. Let's not use these mics. Let's switch to the other ones.
yeah.
Tack.
But that's like another level. Yeah. That's I guess as you
But
said, like
yeah, but I think it's like that's the actual thing. And it's actually not that hard
mm,
unless you're not listening.
mm,
Some people don't listen,
yeah. Yeah.
but they do a job where they need to be listening.
Yeah.
It can happen, you know, like in any
Yeah.
job. There's a
Yeah. Sometimes
person.
you just go by the motion without just actually thinking.
Yes,
Like, wait a minute.
exactly. You're looking at the meter.
Let's
Oh,
yeah.
this,
Let's
I
not look
use
at the microphones there.
yeah,
Just
I use
listen
the
how the microphone
12,000.
sounds. Yeah.
Yes, I use the $12,000 microphone. This vocal, I will not change it for a cheaper one. I will not.
Yeah.
It's a bias. You spend $6,000 on this capsule microphone that fucking weighs 5 pounds and it's
Yeah.
this big and it looks insane. It's sounding like shit on the singer, but not even going there. So that I think is a bit of a trap that can happen
Yeah.
sometimes. So you know, but for everyone, like I also tend to remind myself, is this sounding good?
Yeah. Yeah.
You just
Right.
have to
Yeah.
remind yourself to ask yourself, is this
Yeah. Just sometimes close
sounding?
your eyes and actually forget about all the money
Yeah,
spent.
is
Just
this sounding good? And then there's the reality of the job because we're talking about, okay, some sort of a weird art form that is very strange because it's not playing an instrument, being creative, improvising is it left brained? I think. Don't quote me on this. I don't remember. I think it's left brained. You could kind of like let go into that whole side of you and trust.
yeah.
But this is a weird. It's almost like you have to walk on a slack line constantly between being creative but technical enough to keep things under control,
Mm,
and it's not something you encounter commonly like in art
yeah.
forms. Like it's a very very specific, but nobody addresses it. They
No, no.
just teach
I
it,
mean, I think
you
I
know?
think especially people that are watching this or listening to this, they probably do remote recording like I do, and to me, this is the hardest part of just having to dial in sounds and then actually switch to creative mode and
Yes,
play the song and then
Right.
switch again and just listen again. Like, wait a minute, now I'm an engineer. Oh, now I'm a drummer. Now,
Yes.
and
It's a, I mean, it's an actual switch of your brain.
yeah,
If you don't, if you're not aware of this, or you don't prepare for it,
mm.
you could end up playing drums as an engineer, which is not good.
No,
And you could end up engineering as a drummer,
as a
which is
drummer.
also not good. But
Yeah.
people don't talk about this. So I think you have one main antidote to this, at least to do the best you can to be prepared for this, is one thing and one thing only: organizing your session, making a plan,
Mm.
writing
Okay.
everything down, putting everything out. Like, let's say you're in the mixer window, like stay in engineering mode as long as you can. Try not to think about ideas about the song, this feel is cool, or this. No, 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 none of that shit. You gotta just like organize, man. And for me, this was the hardest part, hands down,
Yeah.
because I was always like creative, but then I couldn't land on the ground, with the engineering, because I didn't know, like, this is really was really difficult for me. And stay on that session. Okay,
Mm-mm-mm.
what is the drum set? How many mics? Make educated guesses. Things you might
Yeah.
change, right? With mics, with placement, but make an educated guess. Make a plan. When you do your session, label everything so well that you
Mm.
don't get lost into a software as you're trying to play drums creatively.
Nice.
Like, because then you start being, oh, this send is going, no, wait. Oh, wait, output 17 and 18. What is that?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't label it right. This already fucked you over. You're already in
Mm.
engineering land,
Mod. Yeah.
with, but you're coming from the musician. It's a mess. So labeling, coloring, all of the tools you can use to help you visually see things without getting into the weeds of the engineering, set everything up perfectly.
Mm.
Big labels, letters, big, not small, big, abbreviated and big.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I think, like, yeah, I think that especially now where people are doing so much of both of those things,
Yeah.
and same goes for prepping the drum set, cables. Is
Mm.
it tidy? Is it messy? Again, guilty of this. I'm creative, dude. I can't wait to play. I have an idea. Fuck yeah, like boop, 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 boop. You just go with the cables. Then there's like a there's like an octopus of cables that goes through the hi-hat. That then when you
Yeah.
stand up, you drag it, and you get pissed. You throw a stick. Like all this
Mm-mm-mm.
stuff. It's like, no, 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 no. Stay zen. Do the engineering person. It's almost like you have to be a little bit of a kind of like a multiple personality thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Make it really
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
clear. You
Yeah.
spend an hour, stay there,
And
organize.
then.
And once everything is set,
Yeah.
oh, then you're gonna have to switch into creative.
Yeah.
That's you're on your own. It's you and your brain. You're gonna have
Mm-hmm.
to get into it, start playing, start to feel like, okay, it's coming.
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, this is, I have to say, like, so that I wish I had someone, because every time I go into a studio, I'm like, oh, thank God, I just have to play drums. Or if someone comes to
Right.
record at my studio, I'm like, that's it, I don't have to play, man.
I
I have
know.
to just like do,
I know.
so it's like a one job thing. But as you
Yeah.
said, like doing the two of them is just, yeah, it's very nerve wracking as a thing to do. And so when you, so you recorded a lot of jazz. I saw like those videos. And what kind of mic? Because actually, this is funny. Like until now, I don't have anyone that recorded as much jazz probably as you did. So you have quite a big knowledge about how to place microphones in a jazz situation. Could you give us like? I mean, this is like I know it depends from the artist. It depends from
Yeah.
music situation, but like let's say a quote unquote standard way of miking up a jazz kit for let's say someone that that plays jazz. Like I know it's a very broad thing, but yeah.
Yeah, like there is no standard way, right?
Mm,
But I think I prefer to give you okay, so this is the difference between kind of having um, sort of copying examples you've seen versus having a philosophy underlying, kind of encompassing what you're doing, right? It is much easier to have a philosophy about what you're doing than stumble with trying to copy things. Copying things is great because we're all gonna do it to experiment and to listen to the results, and that's great. But I think there was one thing that for me kind of revealed, it changed everything, and I sort of stopped looking for setups after this. I think setups is great. You could do any setup, you could have 3 overheads, you could have 2, you could have 1, you could have. It's so cool. And there was this book, man, I don't remember the name, but it was an old pirated PDF of this guy that was kind of talking about, hey, super simple. It's the simplest thing I've ever read about this topic. And it's insane how well it has worked for me. And it's, hey, you know how you should choose your mics? And you're like, oh, no, I don't know. Like the brand or the type of mic. No. He's like, the book was saying, no. If you have a dark source, so you have I don't know, like an upright bass with all the strings, let's say, all you need to do is choose a bright mic. So meaning you have to contrast the sound source with the mic choice. Now, this does take a little bit of knowledge of using some mics and understanding in your cabinet which ones are brighter, which ones are darker. But we know like a ribbon mic is generally darker than and I swear, like if you do this, you're gonna get way better sounds in general. So drummer, you have a drummer coming in with super bright cymbals. Don't use condensers.
Use ribbons,
Maybe use ribbons, or maybe use dark condensers. But this applies to any instrument, any voice, anything you ever do.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't know, to me, such a simple kind of a simple truth, but that always works, and you can always go back to this.
Yeah.
So, but as far as, okay, this is my real answer. And now I would say traditional setup, jazz, let's say sort of kind of old school, maybe you just stay simple and you do, if you have a nice room, you do maybe like a further away than usual kick mic that is maybe even a condenser. And then you can do only a pair of overheads on the same stand.
Okay, yeah.
In RTF mode, so pointing this way. So we have good phase. They stay in phase, but they also give us a bit more of a spread than XY. XY is great. The imaging is going to be tight, so the imaging of the drums is going to be all kind of like close to the center. That's one way. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So nothing on snare or.
I mean, like if the drummer is super balanced and the room is nice, man, I really don't think you need anything else.
Right. Okay.
But it depends on the style. I'm talking about kind of more old school, kind of.
Sure. Yeah. That's like it's like for the standard or whatever that is. Like there's no standard, but and those, let's say those overheads that you place, different ways, like depending, as you said, like from what kind of stereo image you're looking for. Do you do anything on the way in? You leave them just completely dry, completely flat, and then after you're like, you know what? Because I know some people, they like to commit. Some people, they're like, you know what? I'm just leaving it as it is. I don't have time for now. I'm just gonna work on
Yeah,
it later.
I don't mind committing, but it has to be a style that calls for it. Like in jazz, you don't. In jazz, you're not gonna color that sound that much. Or in general, like in acoustic, I record a lot of acoustic music, whether it's, you know,
Yeah.
jazz, classical, world music. Those are sounds that like you need to capture, and yes, you can improve upon them, but you're not gonna color them too much. They're
Too
gonna
much.
lose
Yeah.
their yeah. So in that case, like with jazz, not really. In things that are a bit more in other styles, like maybe with a bit more groove, a bit more of a. If we have a conversation about sound, yes, then I might commit to like some
Yeah.
gentle compression on the overheads. If I hear something really sticking out from the overheads, especially, like I might notch it down with an analog EQ, maybe.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't. I mean, it's a little risky. I would do that only if I were going and there's
Yeah.
no
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
no
Yeah. Yeah.
option to change that in
I
another
see.
way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but I think, yeah, those
No.
are
Okay.
those are the things.
Yeah.
Like,
And when it comes, for example, to mixing, because I find this really hard when it's something that, if it's a pop production, you kind of, when you're mixing it, you at least, I feel like I have to give the client a bit of a help in a way. Like I need to mix it before I send it to here. I cannot send it really flat. But in
mm,
acoustic situations, sometimes you don't want to do too much either, because otherwise kind of ruin the whole
yes,
purpose of it.
okay, yeah, that's a good one, because I think what you do is the bare minimum. And what is the bare minimum? Usually, 99% of cases, especially for a drum set sort of almost will have some boxiness to it.
Mm,
It's just part of it. Unless you're always playing it with towels on it,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you will always have some boxiness. So what you'll do is like scoop out those mids, scoop out those low mids or mids on the
Yeah.
toms, on the kick,
Mm, mm, mm,
maybe even on the snare. That's
yeah,
it. You're
that's
you're
it.
cleaning up the house a bit.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
not
yeah,
gonna
yeah, yeah,
commit.
yeah.
Yeah, you're not gonna give them a super compressed
No, yeah,
kick
exactly.
because it needs to sound in front. I think it's good to do those like housekeeping things, maybe notching out a lot of times in overheads, cymbals, no matter what mics you choose, cymbals are always different.
Yeah.
They always have some whistling frequencies around, especially 3K, 2.8, sometimes higher.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And sometimes I notch those down. Like I take those
Just
out.
cut them down. Yeah,
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 because if I see this, when they hit one crash,
yeah.
and in the background I hear,
Yeah, yeah, right.
I'm gonna take that out. Um, it's a bit dangerous though. Sometimes you can start chasing your tail with taking down those frequencies and then kill the sound. So it's like take down the most obvious on the overheads. So same thing, scoop them out just a tiny bit, because that's going to be done anyways by any mixer, any person mixing.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's it. Maybe make sure phase.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, make sure the
Yeah.
mics are in phase. If they're not, tell them, hey, didn't have time to do this. You might want to check it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nice, nice, nice. And when you do, because I also this, like when it comes to mixing, the soloing button is quite tempting sometimes. So you kind of want to like, do you use it a little bit just to do EQs, or you're like, you know what, I just want to hear how the whole thing sounds, and then after
I go back and forth. It depends. I guess it depends what you're doing. For example, for me, in my workflow at the very beginning of it, I'm really just cleaning things up more than shaping sounds, right?
Yeah.
So it's more like taking out extra frequencies. And for that, you don't really need this whole mix context to
Yeah.
it because it's very early. Everything
Mm,
sort of sounds not quite there, you know?
mm, mm, mm.
And so for the housekeeping of, hey, are there super obvious frequencies sticking out? Boom.
Yeah.
Are the dynamics insane? Do I need to control them a bit? That I need to go almost individually. After that is when it starts to be okay, context matters more now. Let me try and shape, do bigger moves with EQs and shape things, listen more in context.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it
So
depends
there's
on
a
this.
time for it. I think like
Yeah.
listening in solo when you're close to the end of a mix,
Yeah.
that
It's
already tells me maybe, yeah, I mean, it's okay to check something, but if you start to
yeah.
find yourself listening in solo a lot for a long time at the end of a mix, maybe you should stop and come back the
Yeah.
next day, you know?
Yeah. 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 For sure. For sure. Man, there was I wanted to ask you about this because in your studios, as I said, was saying before, like you got some amazing drummers, and this is purely a question like out of curiosity. So,
Yeah.
as a drummer,
Yeah.
what was the most memorable session you've done? And again, it doesn't have to be with an incredible drummer. Uh, like it could be, but is there like one session that you're like, man, this session kind of, because as we were saying before, like New York is full of talent and it just is insane. You guys get spoiled with so much great music. Uh,
I
so
would tell
yeah,
you, okay, I have two ideas now because one is about the drummer. Yes.
go for it.
It's different. So it's not the sessions itself. And I think we were recording somewhere else at that time. We were maybe filming only. I don't remember.
Mm,
But I did record the same drummer in different situations. And for me, Eric Harland was something that on the other side of the glass, as an engineer, he had such it's a rare combination, okay? Let's start with that. It's someone that has really the ear for sound and touch and shaping the sounds of his drums. So already he comes with his own, it's almost his own mixing in a way, right?
mm, mm.
Things are muted, things are
Yeah,
embellished with bells, things are so which what does that do technically, right? Oh, that already takes care of some of those boxiness and things we talked about before.
yeah,
The guy already did it instinctively. He probably figured in his career that, oh, this sounds better. Why don't I just put these things on here and this here? And it's going to record better. And yes, it does.
yeah.
And so, but not only that, like you have that. And then I will always remember, okay, besides he's playing, I think he was playing, it was a session for him. So he was sight reading
Mm,
through composed music from this Brazilian fusion jazz guy, pianist, really cool, but also super involved. You know, we're not talking about verse and chorus and bridge, okay?
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's nuts. And he's just like, and I remember if you film him from here, it looks like he's just like chilling. He's like flipping burgers at on Sunday, okay? And he at the same
Yeah,
time he's reading a chart. He's playing with insane touch. And what impressed me the most about him, and it is what I almost never see on anyone, especially in this style, which is kind of like jazz, free, sort of more improvised music. The guy has a built-in compressor in his playing. You don't need the compressor.
wow.
He can use this amount. So let's say you have this amount of dynamic range available to the microphone that can receive it. He's gonna play here. He's not gonna go more than this, but he will make this feel like this, which is
Okay.
what a compressor does.
Yeah,
If
for
you
sure.
can do it as a player, amazing. I mean,
Nice,
I
nice.
haven't seen anyone do it at that level.
Mm.
So that was one thing to me. I was like, because for pop drummers, they do have that balance thing because they got
Yeah,
a few albums, but for such intricate
yeah,
stuff, it's insane. And the other thing was in that same session, they wanted to try one of those insane, crazy, complicated tunes. The band leader was like, I think we should try it like slower. And so they went on the click and they're like, okay, let's go to like one of those motherfucker BPMs, like 56
great.
or
The
something.
easy ones. Yeah, okay.
And they start and Eric starts and he's like, yeah, it just sounded like when you have a song playing and
Yeah.
you just slow it down and then you like tick tick, okay, and it stays there.
Wait, so this was during the song. This wasn't like, well, let's start the song like that.
Oh,
That
it's
was
like
actually.
they stopped and then let's start it again, but like 2, 3, 4,
So,
4 BPMs slower.
so,
And you just go pin pin, two, takes the time. There was no click. Okay, this
yeah,
was
yeah, okay.
him.
Improvised, yeah.
Just listen to the time, and he just went. And we're talking about like a 10-minute freaking tune, okay? And it just stay there like this. Plus reading the chart, plus all these things going on. I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah, that was. Plus, he's a really cool guy, really chill guy.
Yeah, it seems
But
like,
yeah, I
yeah.
mean, super, super. I was so impressed.
Yeah. That must have been definitely, yeah, an experience. Oh man, I love to see him. I think I've seen him live. I can't remember. Probably at Berkeley or something. He came by.
Yeah,
Can't remember anymore. But yeah, every time I watch one of his videos, yeah, I'm super impressed. So yeah, man. I know we running towards the end of it. Do you have time for a 10 rapid fire question, or do you have to run? Yeah.
hmm
It's never rapid fire, so feel free to expand.
Okay.
So here we go. Number 1, top 3 albums for best drum sound.
I was thinking about Jeff Buckley. What album
Yeah,
is?
Grace. The one, no,
Yeah, yeah.
Grace. Yeah, that's such a great
Old
album.
school.
Yeah. Right. The second one, favorite part of your job.
Walking the slack line that we talked about
Ooh,
before.
nice. Okay. Third, worst part of your job.
Can I name names?
Yeah, go for it. I'm gonna mute it. I'm
Worst
gonna
part,
put the beep.
worst part of those fuckers.
Yeah.
Yeah, dealing with clients. Sometimes, not all the time, but
All
yeah.
the time. Some clients. Yeah.
Mhm.
4 is piece of gear you cannot do
Wait,
without
let me
when
repeat
recording.
this.
Oh,
Let me
sorry.
repeat
Go.
this. Dealing with shitty clients.
No, yeah. That's
You can bleep it and they get it.
no. For sure, we got the message. Like, it wasn't for every client. So
No.
4 is a piece of gear that you cannot do without when recording drums at the moment. So every time you're recording drums, you definitely use this piece of gear. It could be a microphone, it could be an actual drums or cymbal or actual, like a plug-in. It could be anything really.
Wow. I'm gonna tell you a good
Go for it.
snare
Yes.
for me.
5 is drummer that you love to record. I know you recorded a lot of people, so is there anyone else that you love to record that hasn't been to your studio yet?
Nate
Who's the
Smith. Nate Smith.
Nate? Oh yeah, Nate Smith. Yeah, it's great.
Cool sounds, amazing. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Number 6 is what plugins you normally use on your drum bus, if you have any that are always there.
No, I don't.
No plugins.
I mean, on the drum bass.
Yeah, the drum bus.
I mean, meaning when I'm mixing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I think at least always there is an EQ and there is a compressor.
Nice.
Even if it's
any specific ones, or is it you change like depending on the song?
no, I have to change it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Something that I want to hear it'll be something. If it's something transparent.
Yeah. Use something else. Okay. 7 is there a book or a video tutorial that you would recommend and found helpful in learning how to record drums? You already mentioned that book
Yeah,
that
but
with
it's a
another name,
mystery. Yeah, it's lost in
the
my
mystery
memory. I
book.
need to. I
But
need
if
to
there is another one that you would
do
recommend that
some research.
comes
Oh,
to
you know what
mind,
is cool? Actually, yeah, a great book is by Sylvia Massi. You
oh
know
yeah,
her?
yeah,
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 so she has this book with all kind of like weird, unconventional ways of recording.
yeah,
Yeah, that's fun, man. I mean, I
yeah.
think
I
it's
need
a
to check
really
it.
fun book because there's so
Yeah,
many books that are so boring.
yeah.
This one is more like creative engineering. So
Engineering.
yeah, it's cool.
That one. Okay,
So
okay, okay.
yeah.
I know the one you're talking. Yeah. Number 80. Who's your inspiration when it comes to recording drums? Could be a sound engineer, producer.
It's kind of weird. Like it depends, like on the style, right? So if it's rock, I've had a moment where I was like obsessed with like I forgot his name, the producer that does Kings of Leon, the
Oh,
engineer.
Jakir King.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Man, I just
yeah,
freaking love the
yeah.
sounds he gets. So like that, if we are in that kind of style, is
Mhm.
sort of what I really like. Darker,
Yeah,
thick sound. Um, I really enjoy listening to it because it's just more fun, man.
yeah,
You can turn it up louder. It doesn't hurt your ears. You can just turn it up and turn it up. And I think that's really cool.
yeah, yeah. He's
Yeah.
awesome. He's awesome. 9. Best advice you've ever received.
There's a story here. I have to tell you the
Oh
story.
wow, go for
Yeah.
it.
Which I think you already know, but maybe you forgot. So when we were at Berkeley, I finally, after a year, whatever, 2 years, I started the production engineering curriculum. Okay, so we start working in the studios, we start doing stuff, we start getting some guests, really cool engineers coming from outside, and kind of doing sessions with them and learning from everyone. Doing the nights, a lot of nights, really late nights in the studios, recording other students, other projects. And there's this one day that is kind of a big deal. I don't remember the name of the curriculum of the class, but we had um, George Massenburg as a guest for like the week or
For the week.
something.
Okay.
And so this one day we are supposed to do, we're in Studio C, big studio, big console, and we're gonna record this like jazz trio quartet or something like that. Um, and so we have our class for maybe like I don't know 10 people, and then we have George Massenburg, known for his temper and swearing all the time. Cool, super cool guy, the
Love
best.
it. Yeah.
And then we have our professor. So there's the two of them and us. And so the professor kind of sets up the session and says, "Hey," gives me the job to manage the room, manage everyone, tell them what to do, how to set up the tie lines, choose what I need to use, and everything. And I take this as, you know, get the job done any way you want to get it done. Now, this specific professor, for some weird reason, didn't like me very much. And so he's like, okay, you gotta, communicate with people, tell them what to mic, the drums, how to do it, and which lines go where. And so what I do is I make a piece of paper, I write everything down with all the tie lines, where they go, what preamps, and I make 4 copies because the room is big. We have like 4 different panels, one where we're patching drums, one we're patching piano, one we're doing upright bass. I take a tape and I tape those instructions under each tie line just to streamline the thing so I can go in the control room and like figure out what I want to use while people are setting up. And man, the professor loses his shit. He's like, this is not the job you're given. You are relieved of your duty. So I'm in this like session, in front of George Massenburg, feeling like shit. He's like, this guy is just in front of everyone telling me I'm I'm taking you out of your position and appoints someone else. And so I'm super pissed.
Yeah.
And we go back into the control room. So everything is mic'd up. We go back into the control. They start playing. And George Massimo was sitting in the console. And he's like, okay, they start playing. He stops. He's like, okay, what do you think? What can we change? Could it sound better? And I'm like, I think the piano is not, the mics are not in the right place. And he's like, okay, cool. So he sends me to the live room where everybody's in the control room. And there's a big Steinway piano. And there's like two vintage 414s recording it. And I just asked the piano player to play, which is actually Devon Yasberger. I don't know if you remember him. Yeah, great pianist. And he's playing, and I'm just like, I'm listening. So I'm keeping one ear like this, and I'm listening into the harp of the piano to take out that harshness that I was hearing in the mics. So I move them, and I come back into the control room. And Massenburg just loses his shit, and he just goes. He starts screaming, and he just goes, this is where the money is. And I'm like, inside of me, I'm like, fuck you. I'm like so happy that I got to do what I wanted to do. And my professor that relieved me of my duty was just like,
yeah, there's nothing to say.
And and then he went on to say, yeah, this is actually the one thing you need to do is you go there, you listen, you move it, you come back. It's better. Yes, let's go. And he's like, that is the thing. And also, I think also that moment gave me a little bit of a blueprint of like, oh, I trust him. I think that is what it is. Sometimes you don't have the time to do that. It's okay.
Yeah. That's so cool. Nice. That's amazing, man. Nice one. Yeah. Well done on that. Kind of, you kind of need those boost of confidence sometimes, just to,
because I was so down, man. Like when the guy was like, "Oh, you don't know shit. Like you're not doing what I asked you to do." And
yeah.
Feeling horrible.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like, I mean, especially in front of everyone.
I don't think I've ever had like such a low, so low, and a high, so high in the span of 30 minutes. Okay.
Yeah. Nice. That's awesome, man. Nice one. Last one is worst advice you've ever received. That one. The worst advice was your professor.
The worst advice was my professor. Follow the plan and do things how The worst advice I've ever received. Oh my God. Go to New York and be an assistant.
Ooh.
In my case.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, if I knew myself at that time, I would be like, you are not. You can't be an assistant. Just don't. Take another path, but not that one.
Mm-hmm.
And this always came from people that I really liked and they wanted to help. And it's a very simple way to get in somehow, a studio here or something. But like I would have been the worst assistant you've ever seen. I just didn't have those things that can make an assistant useful and grow into like a professional studio. If you have those qualities, then that is the way to learn a lot.
Yeah. Which actually brings me to the like kind of a final question, but it's like, if there was something you would recommend to the next generation, or just people that are starting out now and they would love to do what Alessio Romano does, and just, what would you say to them? Was it, I guess probably that's it. No, just
well, let me see. I think, what would I say to them? Yeah, I would say actually that's probably it, right? So if they're coming out of school, let's say, If the professors tell you just go do an assistant, be an assistant. If you have to be honest with yourself also. If you think at this point in your life you're gonna be a useless assistant and you're just gonna be like warming up a chair and actually be more of an issue than help, don't follow that advice. Go do your thing, do your own thing. Yeah, it will be harder. Yes, it will be take you longer to learn. Yes, because you don't have all the mentors in a studio that will show you things that you can see every day what they're doing. Everything will take you longer, but maybe that's the way you gotta learn. Maybe that's the way you're gonna find your thing.
Your path, yeah, for sure.
So it's tricky. Yeah,
that's awesome. Nice one. So where is a good place for people to look for Studio 42?
Okay, you can visit. There's kind of like two brothers sisters companies. So one is the studio, so studio42brooklyn.com, and then the kind of more production video on location company is 42-productions.com. So those are the two places where the material is. You can see stuff. Yeah.
Nice, amazing, man. Thank you so much for all this time. Like, I know we went over the hour that I promised, but
no worries.
You were going for it, so I was like, yeah, let's go. So nice one, man. Thank you so much, and I hope to at some point come to New York and come to your studio to finally visit it, because I've never been. Yeah, it's coming. I hope so.
Amazing.
Nice, brother. All right, great to see you. Yeah, take care, mate. See you. Bye.